Hi everybody. So I wanted to do a video kind of on what I've learned so far, really from the new moon that's just passed. If you're watching this in July 2021, it's the Cancer new moon. It was a couple days ago, but we're also in Cancer season. Now I am between the big three. I am Aries, Sagittarius, and Aquarius, so I don't do well with watery things, even though I do feel things very deeply. So it makes life a little complicated. But I feel like this one has affected me more productively than in the past, where kind of any kind of like Scorpio. I don't seem to notice Pisces a whole lot, I don't think, but like Cancer and Scorpio I have a really rough time with. I cry a lot, kick, scream, tantrum type stuff. And it's been really kind of a time of change for me anyways. I mean, really the last 2 or 3 years, but I've noticed that within the last few months. Now, let me give you a teeny tiny bit of backstory. This is going to sound silly. I don't like to clean, and so you go, yeah, well, who does? I mean, there are people that do, right? But kind of the big joke is most people don't like to do it. I don't know if this is something from my childhood, because my mom was a neat freak, to put the label there. So it's not like, the house was a mess. But there's something about it that, and it's probably a lot of usually not hoarders necessarily, but even if you just tend to hang on to stuff, you can't let go of certain things. It's filling a hole in you, and so you can't release that energy, right, for something new to come in, yada yada yada. So I'm starting to understand a little bit more. There's kind of period or cycles I go through, where I've been a lot better about getting stuff cleaned up, like dishes and things like that, but then there's periods where they just sort of pile up and I let them go for a while. Real talk here, guys, okay? So you're not alone. And I'm starting to learn a little bit more about how that works, because I am in a time of transition, but I'm seeing it a lot more, and that is because if you don't know much about Cancer other than maybe what I've said here, where it's emotional stuff, obviously, watery side. It's also, the only word they're giving me is like domestic, but like of the home. So it is like mother energy, nurturing, but it's also domestic, like the home, that kind of thing. Where it's helping me clarify like how that works, like what triggers me, to just sort of let it go or go ahead and take care of it like a normal person, right? So that's been super, super helpful. And one of the ways you'll know you're making that shift, or you're, I was going to say get rid of the bad habit. I don't really want to say that, because a lot of the bad habits that we create for ourselves are usually stuff from childhood, that help fill that void, or a learned thing, or whatever. I have the house to myself. My family is out of town. If you hear any kind of noises, there's a dog out here, by the way. And I had a friend over last night for dinner and a movie, and so there were some dishes in the kitchen sink down here. I have an apartment above the house, and so I had some dishes there too. And so this morning, I woke up early to take care of a big guy over here. And I did sit in bed. You know, I played some games on my phone. I posted something on Instagram. And I had like some ASMR playing in the background. And then, you know, about 8:30, I went, okay, all right, wash my face, do the dishes, wash my face, do the dishes. And it was fine. Like, there wasn't like, oh, I don't want to do it. Because usually I'd save that stuff for the very, very last minute. Because or sometimes not very well at all, to be honest. And so I was like, yes, let's get this place cleaned up because I can't deal, right? So that's kind of how you know, right? Like, you don't feel that resistance. So it seems really easy to say that. They'll like, oh, you'll know when, but just to kind of give you kind of a real world example. So it feels good to feel more and more like a normal person and to kind of heal this stuff a little bit, right? So it's been good. It's been a lot of homey stuff for me, not so much kind of deep, dark things I've buried because I've 2 years ago. It's stuff I've worked really, really hard on before, but stuff like that, like what keeps me from running my home? I hate to say normal. I mean, but you know what I mean. What keeps me from going, oh, I need to clean this? What keeps me from, not doing laundry that day? Why do I put it off? Or, that kind of thing. So, or decluttering even, right? Because I can look at it and it makes me unhappy when there's messes. But I'm just like, I just sort of ignore it. And I've learned to work around messes in my apartment. I did for a long time. Not so much now, but I did for a very long time. I just sort of worked around it because I didn't want to deal with it. And of course, when it gets bad enough, then you just don't know where to start and it gets overwhelming. And, so in case there's anybody else out there, I know there's 7 billion people in the world, but I promise you are not alone. So that is how I have felt it this time around. And I don't typically get the productivity. I mean, I'm sure it was productive, don't get me wrong. But it hasn't been as clear as that. Other than that, for me, it's been what it always is for me, by the way, which is divine timing. like I had really bad anxiety yesterday when I went to work, and thank God I've got bosses that can roll with that. They're really good about working with people with that if they can. So, but I mean, anxiety is really just things are not working out the way you should or the way you think they should work out, even if it's very subconscious. So you get like, ooh, right? Because things are not happening the way they're so the way you visualize them or see them happening or the way they've always happened, right? So something changes and you're like, right? So that's kind of been the other thing for me. And a lot of it's been long-term stuff where like, why hasn't this happened? That kind of thing. So there's been a lot of purging of that in the last couple of weeks. Because I even had that last week. Last week was pretty bad. I don't usually say that a lot, but it was tiring because it seemed like it was every other day. So that is how I have experienced this new moon, and I brought some cards out, so I thought I would see what comes out. So he can't even be cute and come over. He's just got to sound like he's choking. That's fantastic. Hey, Barry, you want to come say hi? Can I get you? I don't think I can get you on camera. Hold on. Bear, you say hi? No? You're not gonna say hi? Okay. he just wants pets. He's a boy. He just wants to be cuddled. Okay. All right, so let's see. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Oh, now you want to say hi? Say hi? Yeah? Oh, thanks. There we go. Okay. Yeah? Yeah? I know. Now he wants to be nosy because I'm not paying attention to him. All right, so let's see. Let's Spirit. What do we got today? What do we got? So I'll do this on camera this time. Because why not? because I've got the house to myself. I don't have other people getting in my way. So. All right, Spirit, what do we got? What do we got for the week? All right, I'm gonna do it for the week. Okay. Ooh, we're gonna go with the Oracle deck first. Get a theme here. All right, what we got for a theme for this week? Spirit, what's the theme or themes for this week? What do we got here? Don't be afraid, guys. I feel like a little bit of anxiety over that, like what's coming. It's fine, guys. Whatever's supposed to come, whatever's coming is what's supposed to come. So just kind of release that. Come on, let's see here now. No. Theme for this week. Theme for this week. Just never know how they're gonna do this stuff, to be honest. All right, perfect. So I like that. There's an underlying theme of courage this week, so I love that. Okay, so we have purification, which, right, Cancer season, right? Voyage. I love it. Put that right here, sorry. Get this laid out. And flow. So it definitely does feel that way. I don't know if anybody else, even if you feel really good during this time, like if you're good with the watery energy, does it feel like a voyage? Like when you feel the purging? I'm curious. I want to comment on that, because like I said, that's always rough ones for me. Scorpio and Cancer typically. All right, so what do we got? Ooh. They wild today. They wild. Let's see here, sorry. Excuse me, guys. Interesting. Okay, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Sorry. Okay. All right, what else? Ooh. You guys. Oh, you guys. Is that what we're doing? Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So, this makes a lot of sense, actually, because we're just kind of getting into, like, halfway through the month, so we're not super close to it, but the next one is Leo energy, so I think really, it feels like really depending on how much you, move through this with the new moon. So a lot of it's manifestation. It's not really stuff where you like release that. I mean, you should release whatever's holding you back, but it's not like a full moon is where you kind of see what's working, what's not working. If it's not working, set the intention to release it, and then move forward from there. Whereas typically a new moon is new stuff, new beginnings. Set the intention for the things that you want to start. Where else I was going with that? I think I was going to give you some options, but new things you want to start. But these are all wand energy, and so the next man up is Leo. So this makes a lot of sense, actually. So I'm not super clear on the zodiac things that represent this, but I think the King of Wands is Leo, actually. I think that's what I've heard, or that's what a lot of readers associate it with. So that makes a ton of sense, right? We got Seven of Wands. Spirit stepping in with the Justice. And are you guys ready for this? if the anxiety I felt when I was shuffling and trying to get cards, I hope this will make you feel better. So 4 wands. Okay. Um, so it's, and I did a little short reading the other day with this week where it sort of felt like people had this feeling of it's a me against everybody else, or we, like you and a partner, you and a friend, you and family, kind of against the world, right? Or not against everybody else, but you against the world. And that's really what Seven of Wands is about, is overcoming that. Um, so if that feels, no, hold on. Yeah. So if that feels like something that you've been kind of that's what I'm looking for, other than going up against, I was trying to think of another word than fighting. If that feels like something you're going up against, spirits stepping in to really help you kind of, what am I looking for? Yeah, balance it out. Okay, that's I mean, balance seems like the obvious word with justice, right? But the idea of maintaining, because there's really the four elements, at least, with tarot. There's five technically, but and it's really about balancing that fire and water right now. So you're, and I actually had another reading like that. I don't know if it was this week or the week before last, um, or the week before this one, where it was about that, like, fire and or passion and compassion, right? So that kind of your heart and your sacral and all that. So it's really about balancing out those two things. And again, Four of Wands, four is stability. Um, in this card, it's four posts, which is a lot like a house, right? So really about balancing those two things. And like I said, you're going to get help this week, with spirit stepping in with justice. So they're saying, ask for help, and I say this a lot, um, and I don't mind, because let me tell you, when you're kind of in the throes of something that feels really, really big, even though you're wondering why nobody's helping, um, sometimes you don't really think to ask them for help. And again, I say this a lot too. Your team is not going to step in and help without you saying, I need help. Okay, it's free will, guys. But they're not going to overstep their boundaries. If you're struggling, they're just going to have to sit there and watch you. So by all means, ask them for help, and you're going to get it. So all this feeling like you've been riding this wave of struggle, of, you know, it's always, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's always something, right? Because there's 6 other wands up there, right? So it feels like something's coming down and something else pops up, And for me, I've experienced this a little bit too, where it's all sort of along the same lines, but it's just like different aspects of stuff, and you're like, come on. Like, just when you've either, made peace with it, you healed the trigger, or, it's, you know, someone else's thing, so it just sort of rides out, and then just like something, you're like, okay, cool, this is good, like it's feeling good, and then something else pops up, right? So this is this is gonna be kind of worked out this week. Leo's kind of creeping in here, creeping in. Leo's a fun energy, and I could be just saying that because I'm fire energy too. But I like Leo season. Mom's a Leo. I have friends that are Leo, so Leo's a fun time. And so this was really kind of and it usually is for a lot of people, kind of a time of purging. Again, clarifying certain aspects emotionally, mentally, even, because a lot of it's a mindset thing, right? Like I said, with anxiety, it's stuff isn't going the way you think it should go, or it's always gone, something, that kind of thing. So this is very, very good. I like this. So don't be afraid of the Seven of Wands, okay? So you're gonna have Mr. Leo coming in to kind of help you with that. If you're starting to feel a little more energy, a little more happy, a little more, a little more. That's that Leo energy creeping in for you. So good week, good week. And don't forget, if you're still feeling kind of a little bit of the struggle, but it's a good week. I don't know if that'll make sense to some people. Don't forget, it may take a little bit of courage to go with it. And if you're like, what am I trying to say? I get this sometimes where all this help comes in for you. Of course, you're like, finally, right? Jesus, right? Thank you. But it feels weird, right? And sometimes you don't get the help. And I promise you, there's things where you'll go, oh no, it's okay. And it's stuff that Spirit's trying to do to help you get used to being helped. Like, people will go, oh, do you want a drink? Oh, I saved you some lunch, or hey, I'm just going to buy food for people, or do you need help moving that, right? So even if you just go, oh no, it's fine, I got it. So even if you got it, right, and that feels weird, just go, oh yeah, thanks, I appreciate that. Go ahead and take the help, because there's a reason you're getting help for something really kind of menial, where you just, honestly, you would never need help for it. And I would really just, if you're in a position where you can kind of just take a minute to not answer, sit with it a second and just go, okay, cool, thanks. Because there's a reason why you're getting help for something you wouldn't normally need help for, right? So go ahead and take it. We're going to balance stuff out this week, right? Go ahead and set the intention. It's a great week. You don't say it's going to be a good week. It's a good week already, right? All right, Monday will be here tomorrow. Maybe today is the start of this week. So it's a good week. And we're going to do it. Just learn to go with the flow. It's maybe a new path for you. So voyage, right? It might lead you down to something else. And we're going to start feeling good again, okay? So thank you, Spirit, my guides and my ancestors. And I hope that was helpful. Give you a little bit of real life examples kind of how this moon has manifested. And I will talk with you guys later.